Have you ever noticed your dog not wanting to jump into the car? Maybe you have a cat that's sitting closer to the ground and not climbing up on the cat tree. Maybe they're not going up the stairs anymore. Maybe your dog's starting to sniff more while you're going for a walk, or they're pulling on the leash, or you're like, come on, why are we so slow on this walk? Have you ever noticed any of these signs with your pets? Imagine having your beloved pet, whether it's a dog, cat, maybe both, and you know that they're in pain because they cry. They don't want the leash around their neck, and they're on like 5 different pain medications. And you're like, what else do I do? And your vet tells you there's nothing more. That's a reality for so many pet parents. And that's why this conversation today is so important. I'm Dr. Katie Woodley, the natural pet doctor. This is Coffee Talk with the Doc. We do this every Saturday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we're going to be talking about acupuncture and natural pain remedies that you can use safely for your dogs and cats that you can integrate in with conventional medicine. What I was referring to before with that severe pain and being told there's nothing else left that you can do for your pet was one of my first acupuncture patients over 6 years ago. This beautiful boy, his name was Zeus. He was a Doberman, severe, chronic, debilitating neck pain. And he was literally on 4 different pain medications. And I had just finished my acupuncture course, and I was like, please just try this. I don't know if it'll work, but the alternative is Zeus won't be here on this planet anymore. And I will never forget, I get goosebumps. I will never forget that day and how special Zeus will always be with me for the rest of my career. He walked in, his head was down. He kind of slunk into the room where we did our acupuncture. We had a nice big bed out for our acupuncture patients. He laid down on that bed. We put the needles in and he just laid there. I think we fed him frozen baby food as the special treat. And, the pet parents and I just chatted and we finished. I pulled all the needles out, gave him a good little massage and rub down, and he stretched out. And then all of a sudden, the next moment was magical. I wish I had recorded this because it was truly magical. And he jumped up and he had his head held high and he pranced around that room. And I looked at his pet parents and I was like, I think it's going to work. And he continued to do so well for like 4 more years. And then he ended up passing away from something completely unrelated to the neck pain. Acupuncture saved his life. And so this is why it's so important that we talk about some of these alternative modalities that we have available, because so many pet parents are told there's nothing more that we can do, but there are things that we can do. And that's what I'm here for. So let's talk about acupuncture first. And of course, as always, with all of these live coffee talks with the docs, you have questions, post them below. I love seeing you all join us live. So we'll get to those questions towards the end, or we'll answer them as we go. So make sure you post below. So with acupuncture, some of the most common questions I get, like, what is this? Like, does it really work? And what acupuncture is we're placing tiny little needles in certain points all over the body. And these points are called acupoints. And they're where blood vessels and nerves come together. And so when we're placing these needles, there's certain points that we're using along meridians if we're looking at it from a Chinese medicine perspective, or we can look at it from a conventional medicine perspective too. Been trained in both, which is fantastic. They're both the same points, whether you're using conventional or you're looking at it from a Chinese medicine perspective. The points are the same. Sometimes the way we do the treatments is a little bit different, but these points, so they're powerhouse points because we have good blood flow to that area. We have nerve innervation to those areas. And when we place these points, what it does is these little needles are stimulating a local reaction that increases blood flow to that area. It's also stimulating the nerves. So what it's doing is it's sending a message to the brain, and it's also helping the body produce its natural pain relief. So natural opioids and other factors to help reduce pain. And what we're doing is we're stimulating the body to heal on its own. That's what acupuncture does. We all have the innate ability to heal ourselves. That includes us, that includes dogs, cats, all species. We possess so many amazing abilities to heal. And so acupuncture is helping the body heal itself. And so these certain points, what we do is we do a full physical exam when we first see the pet. We're getting an idea of where are these sensitivities. When I'm looking at them from a conventional perspective, I'm looking at the fascia, the muscles, where are trigger points, where are tightness. For treating the knee, there's local points we can use there, but then also because that pet's compensating for a sore leg, there's going to be sore spots along the spine, in the front legs, in the shoulders. So we can use acupuncture to help relax those points. Because remember, we have a local reaction there. We place that needle, it's increasing blood flow, and it's helping those muscles relax. So a lot of times when I put a needle in and it's a tight spot, if you've ever had acupuncture, you can relate. Like these trigger points, they can be sore. Most dogs and cats tolerate acupuncture really, really well though, because that needle is helping that muscle to relax. It's also stimulating the body to release endorphins. Endorphins are the thing that make you feel really good. So like you go for a run, during the run, maybe you're like, this really sucks, this is hard. But what it's doing is you're releasing endorphins. And so you get that runner's high at the end and you're like, yeah, I can conquer the world. I feel so good. Those are those endorphins that are being released because of increased blood flow and the chemical reactions that occur from running and stimulating your body with activity. And a lot of similar things happen with these pets. I have pets that fall asleep with acupuncture because of the endorphins. They feel good. It's relaxing. If you've ever had acupuncture yourself, it works the same way. And that's the really neat thing with using acupuncture. People are astounded we can do acupuncture on cats. They tolerate it and they adapt so well to the treatments, and they do really, really well. And what's really neat about using acupuncture, so whether from conventional perspective, whether you're trained from a Chinese medicine perspective, we can treat all sorts of different diseases and conditions. And pain is one of the most common ones that we treat. So whether it's pain from old age, so degenerative changes, whether it's pain from trauma, so let's say a dog gets hit by a car, there's going to be pain there. And we can use acupuncture to help. Whether your dog tears an ACL, so the cruciate ligament in the knee, we can use acupuncture to help reduce inflammation, control pain, and get them to a stronger point. So it's part of a lot of rehab programs, especially after surgery for orthopedic issues. Pets with hip dysplasia, very common condition that we treat with acupuncture. And the thing that I love about acupuncture is it's not one or the other. So if your pet's on Remedies or non-steroidal pain medications or other pain medications, we can use them together safely. So we can integrate in these alternative modalities with conventional treatment. We get better results. And a lot of times you can reduce the dosage, working with your veterinarian, of course, of that pain medication that you may be afraid causes long-term side effects for your pet. So by using these safe modalities, there are no side effects to acupuncture unless you're using someone that doesn't know what they're doing. However, very, very, very rare that there's going to be a side effect. Your veterinarian does need to be trained in acupuncture, and you need to be using a veterinarian that is trained in acupuncture. So that's very, very important. And there's different training programs out there. So I was trained up in Fort Collins. I was trained on the conventional side, so the medical acupuncture. However, I also have a degree in Chinese herbal medicine, which also teaches you what points to use. So I feel very blessed and lucky that I have both, where I can look at a pet from both sides and be able to integrate the two. But like I mentioned, whether or not that vet has been trained in either one, we're using the same points. Sometimes the way we use them is a little bit different though. And that's where other conditions for acupuncture, yes, we're talking about pain control today, but acupuncture is such a beautiful modality of treatment because we can use it if your pet has a decreased appetite. There's appetite stimulating points. We can use it if your pet has allergies. Is your pet super itchy? Guess what? I've got immune points that I can use to help the immune system shift and change, and also points to reduce inflammation. Like, that's how cool it is and how powerful it is. I have seen pets with inflammation, red skin, and their skin color changes right before our eyes during the acupuncture session. So if you have a pet that has a condition and you're like, I don't know if acupuncture is going to work for this, it probably can help in some way. And it's a nice way to integrate it into that treatment plan. So make sure you ask your veterinarian if they do it. I'm in the Northern Colorado region, so if you're in this region, I come to you. I do house calls. So definitely reach out if that's something that you need help with for your dogs or your cats. So the other thing is what are some of the side effects, right? I mentioned that it's very, very safe. And so we place these needles a lot of times in older pets. We're using less needles. We're keeping the needles in for a shorter period of time. And the reason why is because they're not as strong as like a young puppy. And we can make them sleep for a long time if we leave those acupuncture needles in for too long. Or if we're using too many, sometimes they'll be a little bit more stiff and sore because we are working along those trigger points, those tight muscles, areas of pain and inflammation. But then what happens is they rest and then their body feels amazing. And with acupuncture, it's not a one and done. That's the biggest difference. So this is a common theme amongst herbal medicine, alternative medicine. It takes longer sometimes to take effect. Now with Zeus, who I talked about at the beginning, he responded with one session, which was magical. It was amazing. A lot of dogs, they need multiple sessions, and I usually say give it at least 5 to 6 sessions before you decide it's not working, because there have been numerous pets that I have gotten to the 5th or 6th session, and it's like, I don't know if this is working. The pet parent's like, I'm not sure if I want to continue. I'm like, just do one more. And it's like a flip was switched. The pet changes, and all of a sudden we're off to the races. Their body is healing and they're feeling amazing. So definitely go into acupuncture knowing that you're going to need to do more than one session. And what we do as we change the body, we cause the immune system to modulate and change and adapt, and we're healing, is that those sessions start to become longer in between. So typically we start with 1 or 2 sessions a week, and then we start extending them out as that pet is feeling better and responding. Usually if we see a regression between sessions, then we shorten them again. But I have pets that are getting acupuncture, once every 6 months. It's like a tune-up, like, they're a little bit stiff. Let's go ahead and do acupuncture. And they're doing fantastic. They're older pets. They're off their conventional pain medication. We're managing them with herbs, acupuncture, supplements. So if you're thinking or wondering, does my pet, can they benefit? Do they need this? Talk to your veterinarian. And if you find they're not sure, just because they don't know about it, not everyone is trained in this. So they may say, no, I don't think so. If you are not happy with that answer, go to the ahvma.org website. So that's the American Holistic Veterinary Medical Association website. And you can search for holistic or integrative veterinarians in your area. And you can use them for these services and still use your normal conventional veterinarian. That's the great thing. We can combine powers to help our pets heal. So definitely, as your pets get older, if they're dealing with chronic issues like allergies, diabetes, kidney disease, we can use cancer therapy. That's something that I use all the time to help them feel good, release those endorphins, keep their appetite up, keep inflammation down. Definitely think about integrating acupuncture into your pet's treatment protocol. All right, natural pain remedies. So natural pain remedies, this is, I know a lot of you out there have a lot of questions about what supplements can I integrate into my pet's care that are going to help them. We talk a lot about inflammation. What are the foundations of health? Those are all key to helping our pets age gracefully. So what does that mean? That means reducing inflammation through diet, optimizing diet, making sure that's ideal for your pet in whatever life stage they're at, activity level. So diet is always foundation. Nutrition is a foundation to health. So as long as we've got that dialed in, now we look at, okay, what supplements, what other natural remedies can we plug in to this treatment plan to fill those holes and those gaps where we need some extra support? So that's how I look at it. We're not going to be able to use supplements to fix an issue or even herbs to fix an issue if our diet is off. So keep that in mind. We need to be looking at that. Now, when I'm looking at pain control, we are treating inflammation. So that could be something from trauma, degenerative changes from old age as your pets age. That happens with us. Our bodies wear down. There's wear and tear. We're exposed to toxins in our environment, toxins in our food, and that can set up an inflammatory cascade in the body. And so what we need to do is look at what supplements are safe for our pets, don't have any interactions with drugs if our pet's on a drug, and is it easy to give? There's no point in giving tons and tons of supplements if we put our pets off their food and create diarrhea and other side effects. So I'm going to cover just a few of these because I really love integrating these into pets who are aging, using them as kind of an everyday supplement to an ideal diet to help them feel their best and keep them moving and active, especially as they age. And these supplements we're going to be talking about can be used for both cats and dogs. So we don't want to forget about our kitties. Our kitties definitely develop osteoarthritis also as they age. They are very stoic. They do not like to show pain. And so it can be a lot harder to tell if our cats are in pain. So what are some of the signs of pain before I touch on some of these supplements? Your pet slowing down. That can be a sign of pain. Who has had a dog that just wants to sniff all the time on a walk? And this is probably a change. Like, this is not the normal. Like, they've been like this for years and years since they were a puppy. But all of a sudden, they want to smell more. They want to sniff more. They're pulling on the leash more. That can be a sign that they're getting stiff. They could have osteoarthritis. So you need to check that out and make sure that they're not uncomfortable. Who here has ever had a dog do the backup thing to the couch and like they're going to run and jump on and then they stop and then they back up and they're like, okay, I got it this time. And then they stop. Or in the car. So on the couch, on the car, in the bed, if you're seeing that behavior with your dog, whereas before they used to just jump up onto the couch or the bed or into the car, it's a sign of pain. If you're seeing your cat lay lower on the ground, they're not jumping up on sofas, they're not jumping up on the cat tree, they're not going up the stairs, or they're really stiff going up the stairs. Watch your cat next time they go up the stairs. If you have stairs, they're really stiff and they look sore, they could have osteoarthritis. So these are some of the things that we want to watch for in our pets, especially as they age. So senior pets, 7 to 8 years or older, they're classified as a senior pet. They may not act like it, but they're a senior. So we can support them with some of these supplements and keep them feeling good. Number one, not a supplement, keep them lean. Excess body fat creates inflammation in the body. If we have fat pets, they have inflammation. Those fat cells do not just sit there and do nothing. They are actually releasing inflammatory mediators into the body and creating inflammation. That is it's not only putting extra pressure on the joints, we're also causing more inflammation. So we need to get those pets into a lean body condition score. So check out some of our other blog posts on our website at thenaturalpetdoctor.com. We talk a lot about body condition scoring and what you can do and how you can feel them and how you can assess if they're at the ideal body weight through body condition scoring. So you don't need a scale at home to assess whether or not your pet's at the right weight. Some of the supplements. We talk a lot about fish oils, omega-3 fatty acids. Those have an anti-inflammatory effect. A lot of pets are actually low in omega-3s and high in omega-6s because they're on a kibble dry diet. And so that ratio is off. And when that ratio is higher for omega-6s to omega-3s, we're actually leaning the body towards an inflammatory state. So we want to look at supplementing fish oils. There's a lot of pets who are sensitive to white fish. So sardines, mackerels, a lot of the things that are common in fish oils. So if you feel like there's something going on there, I definitely recommend checking that out. There are food sensitivity tests that you can do to see if your pet has a sensitivity to these. However, using something like a brand like Nordic Naturals is a great brand that you can use. They have a pet brand. They don't put in like flavorings. So definitely look at getting your pet onto an omega-3 fatty acid. We also did some posts on social media this past week talking about how pet foods will integrate omega-3 fatty acids into their diets. However, because they are cooked at such a high temperature, that omega-3 is cooked out. It is not effective in that food. So we need to supplement on top of that. And if we're using supplements, there's all different types of supplements, of course. We talk a lot about how unregulated the industry is. And so using these brands that we know are good is essential, because a lot of the forms of omega-3 fatty acids are not well absorbed into the body, leads to loose stool, the fishy burp breaths that we do not want when our pet is giving us kisses in the face, right? And so when we use the omega fatty acids that are being absorbed appropriately in the body, they're not going to have those side effects. Now, if you have a dog that has really severe inflammation, we call it dampness in Chinese medicine, sometimes using fish oils does not work for them. So then we need to heal their microbiome, their leaky gut, the underlying conditions. That's what we do through Chinese herbal medicine. And then we start looking at supplements that can fill in those gaps. So fish oil is very, very important for helping to reduce inflammation, helping with the pain control for your aging pets, or if your pet's been through trauma or had knee surgery or something like that. And yes, fresh mackerel full of omega-3s, same with salmon. Salmon's a great source of adding real foods into the diet. So I love that. Adding real fish into your pet's food is huge. It's not the sole diet, because we need to add in calcium sources and other organs and things like that, but that's another topic. So the next one, which is really common, a lot of people do this on their own, which is good because it's very safe, are joint supplements. So using things like glucosamine, chondroitin. So these supplements are going to help support joint health. They're going to help slow down the degradation of cartilage and the supportive tissues in the knee and in the joint spaces. Because with osteoarthritis, what happens is it's a degenerative process. So the wear and tear, so that let's say like a knee is going back and forth, right? As we lose the cushioning in that joint, we wear away the cartilage, we're going to get potentially bone on bone grinding against each other. And that creates a lot of inflammation. And then what happens is we get these secondary changes. So we get more bony formation. It leads to the inability to really work and move that joint like it should be. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. And so these types of joint supplements are going to help slow down that process. So that's really important also to be adding in. So like Cosequin, Dosequin, these are all really, Glycoflex is another one. These are really good joint supplements that we can use, especially in our aging pets. And there's dog and cat versions, which is really good. Cosequin is a great cat supplement for aging cats. And they have capsules, they have a chewable. So there's a lot of different varieties that you can use if you have a picky cat who doesn't want to eat something out of the food and you don't want to pill them every day. I don't blame you. So there's a lot of things, different versions of these supplements that you can utilize if your pet has food sensitivities and you're trying to stay away from like beef flavoring, chicken flavoring, which is it's in chewables, in tablets. Then you can go for these capsule forms that are going to be hopefully more hypoallergenic and help your pet not flare up if they have a food sensitivity. So also with these joint supplements, what you'll find when you look at them is that they're combined with all different types of potentially herbs, other supplements, nutraceuticals. So you'll see with glucosamine, chondroitin, we'll have omega-3 fatty acids also within one supplement. And then green lip mussel. So Glycoflex from VetriScience is a great product. I love it because it's combining all of these powerhouse supplements that help with inflammation into one. So you're not having to give 15 different things. Keeping in mind, when we've talked about supplements before, you want to look and see, can I see milligrams on here? Are there dosages of what's truly in here? Or is this potentially a proprietary blend, meaning that I have no idea what the concentration of that certain supplement or nutraceutical is in this product? So there are good brands that use proprietary blends. I'm not going to say that all of them are bad. I've recommended some for patients when necessary. However, I like to know that I have 500 milligrams of this in this dosage, because we can dose pets differently when we know the active compound and how much is in there. So that's really important to also look at. So going back to green lip mussel, this is amazing. So going to vet school, living in New Zealand, we used to eat green lip mussels all the time. They're delicious and they are so good for your health and for your pet's health. They're really good at reducing inflammation. They have pain relieving activities. They support the joints through natural glucosamine, natural chondroitins, all in one. So this is a powerhouse food. So what a lot of companies have done is they've taken that, turned it into a supplement form and concentrated it. So your pets don't have to eat all green lip mussels, or you have to source them because they can be really hard to source fresh, especially in the US. Now, if you're in New Zealand, you're lucky. So just go and get some green lip mussels, steam them up, eat them yourself, and also throw some cooked ones into your pet's food. It's fantastic. So green lip mussels, another great joint supplement, pain relieving supplement, anti-inflammatory supplement. Curcumin. So turmeric is that yellow pigmented spice that gets everywhere. So when you're cooking, so Indian food has turmeric, a lot of turmeric in it, gives it that yellow color. So the active component of turmeric that we use for medicinal properties is curcumin. And this is a really strong anti-inflammatory. There's actually studies that show how it works better than a lot of non-steroidals. So when we add this in, I love seeing the difference that it makes for pets. So as they're aging or they have pain, they're on non-steroidal pain medications, we add it in, they're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Like they're doing so well. And then we can slowly decrease them off of their conventional medicine, which is really neat. So curcumin products. Now curcumin is better absorbed with fats. And also for using like the turmeric spice, a lot of times you'll see it combined with piperine or black pepper. So oils, like fatty oils, so coconut oil, so you'll see like the turmeric bombs that people talk about, where they're adding coconut oil, they're using the turmeric spice, and then they're adding a little bit of black pepper and they're putting that in the food. That's increasing absorption of the curcumin into the body. It makes it more bioavailable so that the body can actually use it. One of the brands that I love and use all the time, depending on your pet's body weight, because it is a very concentrated, stronger form of it, meaning it's higher in milligrams, is CuraPro. And I use that for cancer patients. I use it for inflammation in general. So when we think about disease, inflammation, right? So we look at, okay, is their GI tract strong enough? Because sometimes a really concentrated version of that can lead to GI side effects. So that's where working with someone, working with an integrative veterinarian, or if your veterinarian's comfortable making these recommendations, is really important, because we need to look at the overall picture, not just at the disease we're treating. That is the problem with conventional medicine. We want to look at the disease and the symptoms versus the root cause. Why did this happen and how do we resolve it? So that's the difference. We're looking at those things. When I look at a pet, especially let's say cancer, I'm looking at a pet, and yes, I'd love to blast that cancer right out of their body. But if they're super weak, they're not eating, they already have diarrhea from their like chemotherapy, if I use a really strong herbal remedy, I'm going to make them sicker. And I'm treating the disease and not the pet at that point. And so that's where we treat the pet. We're still treating, like say, the cancer or the inflammation or the pain, but then we're able to heal that pet's body. Remember, give it the tools that it needs, and then we can implement the stronger herbs, supplements, and treatments that we want to do. So that's very important to remember when we're looking at a pet from an Eastern medicine perspective, Chinese medicine, and integrating it into conventional. We want to boost their overall health. We don't want to take away or cause strain on the body because that's not helping them. The next supplement is CBD. We talk a lot about that, so I am not going to cover that today. You can watch some of our other Instagram lives. You can also go to our YouTube channel, so Dr. Katie Woodley, the Natural Pet Doctor, and check out our short video clips on CBD, so certificate of analysis, how to dose, how to avoid side effects. This is very important when you're using CBD. CBD is not a benign supplement, and if your pet is on medications, you need to watch those videos. You also need to check out our blog post on CBD, so at thenaturalpetdoctor.com, because it goes through how to pick a CBD product, the things you need to know to make sure you're not picking a product that is going to potentially cause more harm than good for your pet. So CBD is awesome for reducing inflammation. There's a lot more studies coming out. CSU has released more studies with osteoarthritis and giving us potential dosages that we can use, which is great. So, however, once again, very unregulated industry, anyone can make CBD, and that means that people will make it poorly, and that can lead to side effects, that can lead to pesticides in your pet, that leads to more inflammation, more disease. It does not help. If you want the full CBD rundown of how to use it, what to look for, dosing, go to our Natural Pet Tribe membership, because that's one of our previous videos that we did that you can watch whenever you want. So check that out also. And finally, last thing, essential oils. I'm going to leave that there because there are so many essential oils that you can use to reduce inflammation safely in your dogs, in your cats. Cats are more sensitive. So we are doing a free webinar on Tuesday evening and 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you cannot make it live, register. You're going to have a 24-hour replay of this webinar, and we're going to talk about how to safely use essential oils in pets, because this is a controversial topic amongst pet parents, amongst veterinarians. You go online, you go to Google, and it's like, I'm going to kill my pet. And I'd rather people have that fear than no fear and use it inappropriately, and then you end up in the ER, especially with your cats, diffusing certain essential oils, using them topically on pets, using wrong brands or adulterated versions. So there's a lot of things to know about essential oils, but they're so powerful. They're such a powerful plant therapy that we need to look at them. We can reduce inflammation and skin disease by applying them topically and mixing them in with other components like coconut oils, witch hazel extract. We can mix it in with making tea mixtures to help your pet with inflammation and allergies. So register for that. Head to thenaturalpetdoctor.com. If you're watching this on Instagram, there's a link in the bio for our webinar. So make sure you register for that webinar. We are also doing a kidney disease in cats webinar too. Both of these are free. So take advantage, because these aren't going to be free for much longer. And so jump in on those, because you're going to learn more about natural pain remedies. You're going to learn more about how to use these alternative therapies safely in your pets. So you're not guessing. You're not going through all of that information online and saying, where do I even start? Who's been confused? Like, I go and I'm like, whoa, how do you know if this person is someone you can trust? What is their background? Are they a veterinarian? Probably not. Do they need to be a veterinarian? Those are all questions that I look at and ask, and I wonder, like, pet parents must feel so confused and overwhelmed. So that's our goal with the Natural Pet Doctor, is to break these things down for you so you can digest them. Most importantly, so you can use these safely for your pets. And if you need extra help, we partner with you to help you so you can help your pet heal and live their best life naturally. So if anyone has any questions, post those below. I don't see anything coming up. So we're going to release our next schedule for next month with our Instagram Coffee Talks with the Doc live. So stay tuned for that. If you'd like to see certain topics covered, send me a direct message. You can email me at katie@thenaturalpetdoctor.com. I'd love to hear from you guys because this is for you. This is for amazing pet parents like you who show up every single week, who read the blog posts, who want to know more so you can help your pets live their best lives, because that's why I do what I do. So this is Dr. Katie Woodley. Thank you so much for being here once again. I appreciate all of you, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Take care.